Welcome to Stop Wasting Your Wine, a wine review podcast dedicated to helping you discover great wines with great value for every occasion. I am Joel, and welcome to the best damn wine show out there. This is Stop Wasting Your Wine. As always, I'm joined by Colin and Aaron, but I'm going to breeze past those guys because we also have the honor and privilege to be joined by John and Megan Adams of Wildsound Vineyard. John and Megan Adams are two Midwesterners who fell in love with each other and the Willamette Valley over a decade ago. Together, they farm Wildsound Vineyard with their own hands and make wines from the grapes they grow. Wildsound is a sound a place makes in its natural state when no one is around. They take a similar approach with their wines by letting their farming and fruit speak for themselves without getting in the way too much. I love that. John and Megan always aim to make fresh, delicious, and food-friendly wines that bring people together. John and Megan, thank you so much for joining us. We're so excited to have you. Welcome to the show.
Well, thanks for having us.
That was so romantic.
I know. That was a lovely reading.
Yeah. Which one of you wrote that? Or
I was going to say, you wrote it, so
together?
really it all goes to you.
Move.
Yeah.
It was a combo move. You know, we have to constantly edit each other. That's the key. It's helpful to have that.
Make each other better, right? You're building.
Exactly.
Yeah.
100%.
That's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Works in wine, too.
We've been joking about it for a while before we started recording, but for the folks watching us on YouTube, check out this background. My God.
Gosh. Wow.
Yeah.
And if you normally listen to us on, Apple Podcasts or Spotify, switch over to YouTube now because you're missing out. Like,
do it now.
It's good stuff.
Yeah.
Ignore Colin's
We're not
background.
unhappy with it. We love our Willamette Valley backdrop.
That is your front yard or your backyard that we're looking at right now?
This is the back.
Backyard.
Mm-hmm. On a clear day, you can see Mount Jefferson from here.
Oh, my God.
So we have a nice mountain range behind us. I know.
Snow-capped volcano. It's actually what's on our label, in fact.
Yeah.
If you look at the label.
Oh, is that right?
That is
Mount
Jefferson.
That's Mount Jefferson.
Look at that.
So that's
Very
the view
cool.
from the house. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Wow.
I want to do
That's
one of
fantastic.
these because I know
Look at the
Aaron
green
likes the visuals. There you go, buddy. I put it up there for you. That's beautiful and so amazing. I mean, I'll tell you, I'm just so excited to hear your story. I love the idea of, you guys met, fell in love, and then fell in love with wine. I honestly, I want to get into all of that. So if you don't mind, I mean, tell us a little bit about that. How did that happen? How did you get into, wine? How did y'all meet? Tell us the story.
Sure. I mean, I'll say that kind of our wine story, as our explanation said, kind of started with us meeting as well. When John and I first met, we kind of both fell into the wine world at that same time. Myself with Wally's, which is a retail store in Los Angeles that started in 1968, has since turned into a retail and restaurant location. So I say sometimes that I got the unfun side because it was dealing with all the problems of a retail restaurant, while John got the fun side of exploring.
Yeah, I kind of came into wine in a very strange way in that I started doing audio for wine documentaries, and I was filming all over the world and visiting these wine regions. And I think most people kind of like get into wine from, working in restaurants or somehow that way. And when Meg and I met, we both sort of landed in wine at the same time, and our love of wine kind of grew. So it's a love story, really.
Yeah, a love story in wine. Yeah, so I would bring home the crazy bottles, and he would explore the crazy vineyards. And together that created this kind of passion for everything wine. And that led to us making wine in our apartment. So apartment wine.
Yeah, we started dating like 2010, and by 2012, Meg and I were making wine in our apartment bathroom. So we.
Oh my God!
Wow.
So it was a little
I'm going to need you to go into details about the logistics.
No bottles are left
I have
of
a
this
visual, and it's
hot
probably
commodity.
wrong. Like,
yeah.
We would just
like
age
is your
it in the bathroom
tub
because-
like permanently stained red? Like, what happened there?
No, it was in vessels. It was in vessels, but the
not
the bathroom
moonshine,
created the best
Aaron.
environment.
That's
We
what I'm saying.
invited
I need
everyone in. You
explanation.
grab your glass and you just dip it in the
Yeah,
tub.
just scoop it in. There you go.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yep.
No, so we started.
fantastic.
There was a winery out in Camarillo. This is when we were living in Los Angeles, and they would buy fruit from Central Coast vineyards. And as a home winemaker at the time, you could buy, a couple 100 pounds of fruit, bring it home, ferment it in your house, and make, a few cases of wine. So that's kind of like how we got this disease of, you know,
The
being
wine
into wine.
Yep, got hooked.
Was not only both of our careers, but also like we started to make wine at home.
And I think that bug that got us really started to show us that we wanted to do wine from the ground up, which people will say is crazy, but we thought it was a dream, a good idea.
Absolutely.
You know, we've since learned that we are crazy, but in the best possible way. So we kind of fully decided that in order to do this thing right, we wanted to do it from the ground up and commit to it. So then we had to find the right property.
So both of us kind of fell in love with Oregon, you know, specifically the Willamette Valley, because if you've never been here, it's an insanely beautiful place.
Yeah.
The town that we live in, McMinnville, is very similar to the size of town that I grew up in. Meg's from the suburbs of Chicago. I grew up in a little town in Indiana. And it just really fit for us. It was probably the best decision that we ever made was to do this. And so we found our place here, and we decided to plant our little, you know, we farm just about under 5 acres.
He says little, but come on out to 5 acres. And
I was going to say 5 acres. Yeah, that's
nothing
that's
to
not
sneeze
little.
at.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
for sure.
I'll say the three of us come from
So-
very small property plots in Orlando and New Jersey.
Well, and it's crazy because we went from living in a 1-bedroom apartment in LA to 40 acres in a house in Oregon.
Wow.
And that was quite the change. You know, we knew what we were getting into, right? It was
Sure.
a dream come true. It was incredible.
Sure.
And we bought at the right time. That was 2017.
Yeah.
So-
Nice. Oh, wow.
That was a
Yeah.
Really good.
Yeah.
move.
Hold on.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
But then, we kind of 2019 planted that vineyard down there and haven't stopped since. Also, what's a vacation? Because I don't know.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah.
Yeah, with
God.
Also,
wine for
nobody
sure.
tells you when you start making
Yeah.
wine and farming on top of that.
Yeah.
Is that
Oh,
you'll
yeah,
never
for
go on
sure.
vacation
You'll never
again,
go on vacation again.
because every time of
Absolutely.
the year
Is something.
you're supposed to.
You
be
got
doing
something to do. Yeah, you're either in the winery or in the vineyard. Where's the rest?
Exactly.
There is no rest.
I mean, so that's actually an excellent segue to the question I wanted to ask, which was, so like this sounded like it started off as like a really cool, I don't want to call it a hobby. Hobby almost like diminishes, but you know, you're doing it in the bathroom, you're starting it off that way, you're you know, ground up. You lean into now buying land, you're moving towards now winery world. What's like the first major challenges or speed bumps? Like, cause I'm getting all excited about this. I'm like, I want to start making wine, but I know it's not. I know it wasn't all like, you know, sunshine and rainbows. So like, where were the first major challenges to come your way?
It definitely wasn't sunshine and rainbows. You're absolutely right. Like I said, we kind of went into this like, awesome, we're so excited, and then the first day you're absolutely covered in mud. It's pouring rain, you know, and you're trying to get something desperately into the ground, which was the vineyard itself. We have pictures of us planting the vineyard head to toe mud, like can't even see,
Oh
like,
my God.
and you can't feel your fingers, and you're like, this is farming.
Wow.
I mean, I think like
Welcome
everything
to it.
about farming and making wine is more difficult
Yeah.
than anybody knows, unless you have just
Sure.
done it. You know, it's just
Sure.
nobody can prepare you
Yeah.
for, you know, it's probably similar to parenthood, right? It's like nobody can prepare you for what is to come.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And while it is very gratifying, it is also, there are so many challenges, you know, and
Yeah.
every year you learn something new that you know, maybe you messed something up last year, or you want to do something differently this year.
Yeah.
You make adjustments
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
every year.
As John said, it's like every year is different too. I think that's one of
Yeah.
the first things we learned, especially as farmers, is that you start your year and you're like, all right, fresh new year, and then immediately a curveball is thrown at you, and it's never the same curveball.
Sure.
And so, it's what new pest has decided to join the vineyard, what deer has found a hole getting through the vineyard and is just munching away. You know, what are we dealing with in terms of weather, and what are we dealing with
Yeah.
in terms of, sunshine or lack of sunshine. So every year presents a brand new slate, which you got to you got to want to tackle it. You got to want to take it on,
Sure.
or else if you don't, it's not for the faint of heart.
Yeah.
Because most people
Absolutely.
most people aren't farming their own fruit, right?
Yeah.
Sure.
We are unique in the sense that we are the ones physically doing the labor.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody tells you how many times over the course of a season that every single grapevine has to get touched. You know?
Yeah.
And we
Sure.
have 7,000 plus grapevines, and 7,000 is a lot of anything
Absolutely.
to do repetitively, you know?
Oh, that's a good one. When we first started, we were hand watering. And so you had backpack
Oh my God.
waters. And you'd have to go and you're hitting every vine, right? Every vine. And then same thing with our sprays to start with. We're all organic. So they're all organic sprays, but every single vine has to be touched. So, you know, and that hasn't gone away because when you go into the group, you have to prune. You have to do canopy management, and that means touching every vine. The more vines you got, the more you have to touch.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
And we grow
Yeah.
Pinot Noir, Chardonnay, Gamay, and a little bit of Trousseau Noir. And all of those grapes are finicky in their own
They all grow their own way.
That you just sort of learn that stuff over the course of the years. It's a never-ending journey.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
But there's nothing more valuable, we feel, than tasting that grape from all the way from its humble beginning, I'll say, to its finality in the bottle. There's something really magical about it. You can you can taste a Gamay grape and really start to find its characteristics that you'll eventually find in your glass, which is exciting.
That's incredible.
That's what keeps us excited.
Man, I have to let you know how refreshing this is. We just very recently finished our series of like reviewing some of the most popular, generally bad wines and trying to find a similar price, something else to drink. And, you know, we're going through, you know, Barefoot and we're going through Yellowtail to do this. And there's nothing more the opposite of what you are describing than these wines that we just drank. Because there's no personality to it, right? And just like year to year, they try to make it taste the same and remove all of this. And I have to imagine for you all, like that experience of like, okay, this year we had this challenge, and this year we had this weather cycle, and this year we had this. I imagine it just plays a huge factor in the flavor profile of your wine moving forward, rather than trying to like phase it out.
It absolutely does. It makes it more exciting. We actually love releases every time because while there's still a characteristic that's us, because it's our vineyard, there's always something special and new to it, which is really fun, I think. While you can drink our wine and really enjoy it and go like, oh, I loved that 23 Pinot, I loved that 23 Gamay. When you come back for the 24, you'll be like, this is definitely Wildsound, but I'm tasting the year in it. And something
That's
new.
awesome. I love that so much.
That's
That's so
what makes it
important.
special.
That's what makes wine fun. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Because we're making a small amount of wine, and we're fermenting small lots. We have a limited number of barrels for any given vintage, and like every barrel has its own personality. You know, it's like and I don't think people don't really know that unless you have been to like a barrel tasting or made wine yourself. Is that wine is alive and it's constantly shifting and moving, and you'll go taste a barrel on a Tuesday afternoon and you're like, man, this is not hitting today. And then you come back a week later and it's like, oh, this is great.
I call it the mid-year panic because there's always one that we're like, what's wrong? What's going to happen with it? And then we're like, wait, and come back to it a month later and we're like, it's great. It's beautiful. It's shining.
Yeah.
So it just,
even
like
that,
John said, it lives.
Yeah, but it's incredible how even having that mid-year panic, I'm sure the fact that you all are there from the beginning of the process and the intricacies of the barrels and the fruit allows you to make that decision in that moment to know what to do. I mean, that's the relationship with the whole process that makes it possible there. It's beautiful.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, honestly, I think exactly what you're saying is what allows us to say, give it time.
Yeah.
Let it do its thing. Let it figure it out. We are shepherding it along. We know when something's absolutely wrong, but we also know when we have our internal panic and go, no, it needs to let it chill. Let it chill. Let it do its thing. It's going to get there.
Joel even mentioned it in the intro, but it seems like the brand is all about letting the vine and the fruit speak for themselves. So how does that manifest itself in the bottle and in the final wine?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think that, as we've kind of said, that it's really letting the fruit speak for itself, right? And that we know our vineyard very well, and that we can go down there and you taste that fruit, right, as it starts to ripen during the different stages. And we want to see that in the bottle, though, too. We don't want to strip it. You don't want to strip stuff out of it. I want to taste the sunshine from the vineyard. I want to taste
I love that.
the grass that grows around it, right? Like, that's what you want in your wine. You want those characteristics that you don't realize sometimes makes its way into wine, but it completely does.
Yeah. So like on the bottle, on every bottle, we have farming first, make it delicious. And our focus has always been on the farming, because with wine, if you have good fruit, you're going to have good wine resulting from that fruit. So, the way that we make the wines, we're not using a lot of new oak. We're not putting a lot of lipstick on the wines. We are allowing the wines to sort of, the fruit that goes into those wines to speak for themselves without, a bunch of new oak on things. We use a lot of neutral vessels. We use a lot of this wine we'll talk about in a bit is aged in amphora, in clay amphora for 9 months.
Cool.
Yeah,
So
very cool.
Very cool.
all these things bring interesting aspects to the wine that, you wouldn't necessarily have if you just threw it in a stainless steel tank
But never overshadow the grape,
Yeah.
right? Like,
Absolutely.
Gamay is Gamay, right? I don't want it to taste like,
Yeah.
I don't want it to taste like Pinot. I don't want it to taste like Cabernet. It's Gamay.
Sure.
And so if you're manipulating it to the point where people are even questioning what grape's in their glass, then, slap a different label on it.
100%.
Yeah, bearing the lead, absolutely. So all of that, just thinking through that, kind of brings a question into my head here too. So we're talking about just the entire process and experiencing everything from beginning to end, and these decisions that you make along the way to really A, let the wine shine through and be the wine, but B, you obviously have a place where, you kind of want it to go and something you're going for. So just kind of curious, of these kind of dials and turns that you have the ability to make, whether it's in the vineyard, in the aging process, whatever it is, what kind of has maybe a surprisingly big impact, something that you were, experimenting with and maybe kind of caught you off guard that, whoa, this has a bigger impact than we thought it might on the final product?
I would say that, so the way we make the wines, we're pretty old school, like in how we make these wines. So we typically don't destem the red varieties. So we do a lot of whole cluster. We
also foot tread. So I love Lucy style. I get
Really?
an aged tank and we foot tread. Yeah. So foot treading, the great thing about foot treading, it lets you control the extraction. And really lets you lets you feel the grape. But it is truly, you're not pushing down with an implement where you can't always control it, whereas the foot can.
Yeah, and we love whole cluster
Absolutely.
because there's so much flavor in stems of grapes, right? And if you think about how wines were made, even 100, 150 years ago, before we had these fancy electric destemmers that take all the stems off the berries and you're just left with berries, that's how they made wine, right? You put grapes in a vat, you step on them, you let them ferment, and you press them off and age them.
Yeah.
And
Sure.
that is similar to how we make our wines, I think, in a more, a little more detailed manner than that. But we like whole cluster in general for the red wines that we make, because they're just aromatically more pretty and interesting. Sometimes they take a little bit longer to develop.
Yeah.
The tannin structure is different on a whole cluster wine than like a destemmed wine, for example. And I think like over the long term, they just make for more interesting wines, if that answers your question.
Yeah, no, big time. And just kind of curious, follow up to that then too, is what is it that you're kind of, that you like about what the stem brings to it? Is it that tannin? Is it more the mouthfeel? Is there a flavor profile in there that you're going after?
It's there's
Kind of all of the above.
There's a spiciness that stems bring. There's kind of like a cedary quality if they're ripe stems, right? Like stems are very interesting because in the vineyard, you can go out in the fall, right, before harvest, and you can physically taste stems if you want to, right? And stems, when they're green, they're really bitter and tannic, and it's like not something that you want to have in wine, right?
Sure.
But part of the magic of the Willamette Valley is we have these beautiful cool, dry for the most part falls that allow the grapes to hang into late, mid-October, where you don't get the really ripe sugars. You hang on to the acid, you don't get the ripeness with the sugars, and the flavors develop, but also the stems, what they say, lignify, or they dry out. And when the stems start to dry out, they turn almost like brown, right?
Yeah.
And when the stems make that change, so do the flavors. And that's sort of in the wheelhouse of whole cluster magic.
Yeah. It allows basically that while the grapes are maturing, the vine's maturing as well. And so, as John said, if you can get that ripe, and so when we talk about everything goes in, that's what we mean.
Yeah.
Like that's what is so special about here. We want to pick when when the stem itself is ready to go, as well as the grape. Obviously, the grape's super important, but all those two together make this magical combo. Whereas you said, kind of when I said all of the above, it's tannic structure, it's mouthfeel, it is the bouquet on the nose and the palate, and it can take a little extra time to develop. But when it gets there, it's ready to age too.
Sometimes whole cluster wines, you'll put your nose in a glass after a couple months or whatever after fermentation, and you're like, what is going on with this wine? It's such a weird thing. And then magically, 6 or 8 months down the line, it just boom, it comes together and it gets those pretty, kind of lifted aromatics that you want.
It's ready to roll.
It's a cool thing. And that's why we make our wines like that. For whatever reason, it's kind of a divisive subject with red winemaking. A lot of people destem, and we just choose not to.
That's crazy, because I love that on the lighter style red wines. I think it almost needs it, because you can really lack that tannin, and I think those stems give it that tannic bite that I think otherwise you'd be missing. I know a lot of Gamay. I'm a huge Gamay fan myself. In the past, anyway, I've drank a ton of Beaujolais, but one thing I miss there all the time is that tannic grip. Sure, you can find it from some of the crus, but it's still missing more often than not. So that stem inclusion, I think, even with Pinot Noir, helps a ton.
Yeah, I think with Beaujolais, the tannins are lacking or it depends on the Beaujolais, right? If it's like Beaujolais Nouveau, there's not going to be really any tannins.
Yeah.
It's fully carbonic.
Sure.
Fruit blast.
Yep.
But even Cru Beaujolais, there's a lot of fully carbonic fermentations happening. And
sure,
there's a difference between fully carbonic and whole cluster. We make the wines largely whole cluster with very little deliberate carbonic fermentation. And carbonic is when, for people who don't know, you take the whole berries, you put them in a tank, you seal that tank up and pump it full of CO2.
You let it ride.
You displace all the oxygen out of there, and there's an intracellular fermentation that happens inside the berry that gives it these kind of pretty fruity ester aromas that are great in moderation, but can quickly get too much, and we don't want to be too much with and that's why we choose to do
whole cluster,
which these are fermented in open top bins. There's some whole berries, there's a lot of smashed ones. It just makes for a more interesting finished product with structure, because you have tannin from the juice being in contact with the stems.
Yeah, and a structure that can age, right?
Yes.
And give itself time to find itself, but age longer too.
Thank you for explaining that too, because there's a lot of technicality, and you did a great job, I think, making that.
Okay.
Definitely.
A lot of technical stuff in there, but awesome explanation.
Yeah. I've been sitting here, and the question might even seem a little bit out of order here, but it occurred to me, your story starts making wine in the bathroom in the apartment, and here you are, and it's always such a treat when we get to speak to winemakers, hear about their process, get to get inside their heads a little bit. And I'm just curious, how did you learn all of this? I know you have to learn even to do it in the bathroom in your apartment, but to go from there to everything you have, how did you do that?
I think that it starts off by tasting a bunch of different wines, right? It all starts off where kind of our careers both were, right? Is that really drinking shining examples of a lot of the wine, right? Being in Vineyard, so especially the farming side, being in vineyards, seeing the way things are done, and it helps us kind of, especially with farming, not get caught into it has to be done this way, because we've seen farming techniques all over the world that are done many different ways.
Sure.
But then when you get to the actual like science of wine, it's a lot of books, YouTube, talking to people. I mean, I will say the Willamette Valley is amazing because there's a bunch of farmers here and farmers that want to talk to each other. So
it's a very collaborative environment for sure.
That's awesome.
In the Willamette Valley.
Very cool.
But I will say, like, we made beer early on. And so we sort of like started to understand the science of fermentation. And, the magic of fermentation is that it just happens, right? Like it's these yeast, these Saccharomyces yeast and all kinds of other yeast types, they're on the grapes already, right? Like we ferment all these wines are native fermentations, right? We don't inoculate. We're not adding yeast to our tanks. All you have to do is just give the yeast some sugar and they will start to ferment something, whatever that is. Sure.
Yeah.
So really anything you read and watch kind of gets down to basics like that. You find that they're all leading to the same path. Yeah. Essentially, right? So you start to see the same thing over and over and you're like, Ella, I just got to, I guess, buy some grapes. At the time it was buy. Now we just make some grapes and, kind of give it a try and follow the steps. And like, it's like John said, the same thing with beer. Amazing. Right? Yeah. You just follow the steps and, early on, some of the product is questionable, but you start to understand
trial and error.
What you're missing, what you're looking for.
But, I also have I spent 15 years traveling the world talking to winemakers who have been doing this for generations, right? And that's that has been the most crazy part of my education with this stuff is we're in the Northern Rhone, in the cellar with Jean-Louis Chave at Chave. Hermitage, legendary wines of the world. And we're just hanging out, having lunch, and I can ask him hey, how do you deal with fermentation kinetics? How do you control extraction? Weird science stuff like that. You can ask really serious, dorky questions to these people, and they love it. They're happy to answer because
I was going to say
few people ask
probably
those questions.
Yeah. Oh, that's incredible. That's
so it's invaluable
so much
for us, right?
Absolutely.
It allows us to see again, like I said before, that everything doesn't have to be done the same way, and that
our experiences in our strange exposure to the wine world, it greatly inform how we farm our vineyard and how we make the wines, right? It's we just pull on all these bizarre experiences from all over the world because every region has their idiosyncrasies where they, people in Bordeaux make wines very differently than how they make them in Burgundy or Tuscany or
I mean, we had
wherever.
A life-changing bottle of La Pierre Morgan and hey, Beaujolais, hey, Gamay right there, right? That's, and so that for us, when we actually had people come here and plant, and that night, that dinner, we served that because we were like, this is what the example has been for us, and this is what we're hoping for. Awesome. So it kind of, those kind of examples, when you get to know those tastes, you start to recognize what you want out of the wine.
Yeah,
absolutely.
That's so much fun.
I think that's so cool. Do you feel like being in... So, and last question, one of my last questions, I'm going to kick it to Colin. I want to get into this wine, obviously, but I feel like Willamette Valley in Oregon is something for us, at least. We're always really excited when we get to talk to anyone from there and try wines from there. But externally, I think, especially when we talk to people from Europe and whatnot, it's it hasn't broken through as much. I mean, obviously, everyone knows, but everyone always talks about Napa. Right? And what is the biggest thing you want people to know about Willamette Valley and Oregon wine? And is there a misconception? And if there is, what do you want people to know? And what's the most exciting thing about it?
I think one of the most exciting things about the Willamette Valley is that it is way more diverse than people know or understand. And by diverse, I mean there are so many different elevations. The wines that you make in the Willamette typically are influenced tremendously by your aspect and elevation and soil type. And the Willamette Valley geographically is a huge area north to south. I mean, you think you're Portland in the north, all the way down to Eugene in the south, right? That's a huge swath of everything. It's super diverse. You know, the varieties that we can grow here, obviously, like Pinot Noir and Chardonnay are kind of the stars of the show, but we purposely chose to send you guys Gamay because we think that Gamay is a great option in the Willamette as well, especially as things get warmer.
Yeah.
I mean, I think like maybe 30, 50 years ago when they were first planting grapes in the Willamette, Gamay probably wasn't a good choice. I don't know if you would be able to get it ripe
enough
every vintage consistently. Because even with us here, you know, our Gamay hangs the latest of any grape that we grow. Like it's the last thing that we pick at the end. You know, usually like second, third week of October if we can get away with it. So we're kind of like on the margins of being able to ripen Gamay at our site, right? Wow. We're kind of like high up. We have elevation for the Willamette. So I think like there is so much potential in the Willamette Valley. It's a very young region.
Yeah.
You know, people have only been growing grapes here for 50, 60 years on any sort of commercial scale. And, you know, we have an incredible climate here. We can grow so many delicious things, not only grapes. I mean, we grow all kinds of cool stuff.
We've got apples and cherries and peaches and
that's cool.
Yeah, it's a very diverse place.
So we've learned a little bit about you. We've learned a little bit about the vineyard, but what do you guys hope that people remember after drinking a bottle of Wildsound wine?
For us, I think that the most important thing is that it has soul. As we've talked about, that there is depth behind the wine. And so I think that is what we want people to remember. We want people to remember it's fun to drink wine. Food friendly, friend friendly. That's what wine's about. And this kind of, while we make beautiful wines that age too, it's not about hoarding the wine and keeping it for later and later and later. It's about drinking it now and enjoying it.
Yeah, we want people, we kind of price these wines we want people to buy the wines, drink the wines, and come back for more, right? We don't want you to like buy one bottle and sit on it for your birthday next year.
But you can just buy a couple other to have throughout.
Yeah, buy a case.
But I think it's important to note that like, it's important to note that like we are the ones that they're farming the fruit. We are the ones making the wines. We hand bottle these things. We put every cork in every bottle, hand label. You know, it's a truly unique product among many wines in the world, you know? And it's our passion. We love it. You know? We hope that people walk away with that when they drink our wines.
I love that. And that's what's been so clear through the whole thing too. Is just the passion and the love that y'all bring to Wildsound. It's so apparent through the whole thing. So like these guys have said, just so amazing getting to ask you these questions, learn about y'all, learn about your story. But I got to tell you, I am so excited to try this wine and to drink this with you guys. And I have to say too, I love the label. You said you hand label. I love just the simple blue and white. It's so crisp and so pretty, and I love that.
Thank you.
But yeah, I was just wondering. So, you know, I know you sent us the Gamay Noir. Can you tell us a little bit about just this wine specifically and what we're going to be enjoying today?
Yeah,
sure.
So today we've sent you guys a 2023 Gamay Noir from our vineyard here in the Coast Range in McMinnville, Oregon. And this is a cool wine because it's, as we talked about earlier, it's 100% old cluster. We age this wine for the first 9 months of its life. It sits in a clay amphora, which I don't know if people know what amphoras are, but it's just a big pot made out of clay, essentially.
Some of the oldest vessels of winemaking.
Yeah, some of the oldest wines in the world were made in
I
clay
love that.
amphoras, you know, in Georgia and Armenia. And the clay does really cool things to the wine. The clay, it has a porosity that is similar to what a barrel gives you, right? So the clay is breathing in a similar fashion that a barrel would, but it's not imparting the same flavor. So you're getting,
very cool.
With the clay, you're getting like a real purity of the fruit. There's no like adulteration with any kind of oak, right? Even neutral oak will impart things
small flavor
on the wine. So the first 9 months it's in amphora, and then we transfer it into neutral oak
to finish
up before we bottle it. So it ends up aging, about 18 months all in. And the oak is cool because the oak gives it a little structure. Even though it's neutral oak will add tannin to the wine, and it changes the wine. It changes the viscosity of the wine.
We find it finishes it beautifully. Amphora keeps the wine, like, it's such a pure vessel. It is like a straight down the pipe, like you get the grape. And then the oak we finish it up in kind of gives it that last roundness, which we think like helps develop it to it's like full, kind of brings the grapes fully together and creates that like beautiful mouthfeel.
Yeah. And like our site specifically, like typically with volcanic soils that we have here, you're going to get like, on this wine in particular, it's more like leans kind of red fruited. So there's a lot of like cranberry. It's really bright, great acidity. It's a great food wine.
Yeah.
This wine kind of crushes with pizza.
Yeah, we say this wine takes you from pizza to Thanksgiving dinner.
Oh, I could see that.
And a lot of people like save Gamay to drink at Thanksgiving, but it's like you can drink Gamay with
drink it all
just about anything. On the nose, it's got like really bright, pretty aromatics, and that comes directly from, that's the whole cluster vibe, This wine has, so we put there's probably like, I don't know, 7 or 8% of Trousseau Noir in this wine, which I don't know if you ever had Trousseau Noir before, but it's like a red variety. It comes from Eastern France, and it kind of lends like a little more earthiness to it, kind of like forest floor vibes, whereas the Gamay brings like really, it's like fruit, like fruit bomb party.
Yeah.
Sure.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, it's funny you say that, and I love doing this with the winemakers. It's just the coolest experience. So, but yeah, I mean, as I'm sitting here, I'm kind of breaking it through, and that's exactly the experience I'm having. It's kind of, I'm going in with the Gamay mindset and seeing all those notes, the cherry, that red fruit, really nice, really fresh, and then you're totally right. I mean, there's a whole element of just that earthiness. I was kind of wondering, is that a little bit of the stem coming through and peeking through, but yeah, now it makes sense what you're saying. It's a very cool
stem
mix.
And the grape. Do you
Nice.
taste that sunshine?
I do indeed, and I love it. Yeah,
smell
absolutely.
it, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's I think impressive here is the complexity, right? Because Gamay can be sometimes one note. Again, Beaujolais Nouveau is, that very fruity carbonic maceration. But there's so much going on in this wine. I used to drink a ton of Gamay, but stopped because it just kind of got uninteresting, kind of one note. But this is what I hoped all of my Gamay would smell like. Yeah, I'm back.
He's back.
I mean, if this was it. Great. Come on. So, I mean, it's incredibly fresh. It's the little bit of spiciness. There's just so much going on here, just on the nose.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I want to name for the listeners just so they know. So I believe I saw online that you sell this bottle for around $35. Is that accurate? Wow.
Yep. $35.
Yeah.
Ship it
That's
to your door.
outrageous.
Yeah.
That is. I mean, we're not in the review section yet, but God damn it!
Calm down, Colin. You're messing up the structure of the show.
I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Every growing season, I say the bottle starts at $300. John, talk me down.
Super fair. John's doing a great job. Oh my God. Yeah. No, but I mean, that's just really important to us, because, a big part of our show is getting listeners to understand, and it's a big part of my learning process too, has been you don't have to spend a ton of money to have good wine. You just need to know what you're looking for. You need to know what you like. You need to know the difference between good wine and bad wine, frankly. So it's great to smell and sip on a wine that's clearly complex and thoughtful. And I'm so relieved that you said that there was a grape in there that was adding earthiness. I'm like, there's earthiness here, and I know that's not the right answer normally to Gamay, and something's wrong.
Yeah.
So like I was like, oh great, I got that right. But then in that price range, that's totally accessible to folks who aren't able to go out and spend $100, $200 on a bottle of wine and are scared of wine because of that. It's just so exciting to be like, no, you can go find, small winery, small vintage, really thoughtful, good wine at an accessible price is always really exciting for us.
And that's
Big
why
time.
we price it that way,
Yeah.
right? We want people to
Enjoy it.
be able to buy the wines and drink them and enjoy
Yeah.
them, not have to cherish them, because wine should be something that you can open this bottle on a Tuesday night with a slice of pizza, or you can have it on Saturday night with
Absolutely.
steak,
Yeah.
and it's going to be
100%.
delicious both ways.
Definitely. I'm sitting here just, having a couple of sips and trying to kind of break it out, because Colin, you said complexity, and boy, is it. The thing that I'm focusing on right now too, and really enjoying, that I think, for me at least, kind of sets it up as that wine that you can have with pizza, you can have with steak, is that I'll say two things. One, just that peppery note that's just kind of consistent through the whole thing. It's such a
Stems,
nice,
man.
like
It's
almost
stem
like the
magic.
back.
That's
It's
stem-
so nice.
Stem magic. I love that.
There's that
That'd be a
stem
good
magic.
T-shirt. Stem magic.
Yeah.
Sign me up for that, because I love that, and you're right, and I think it just makes the I know that's a little bit of flavor as well, but just I think it also blends into the structure, which is just really lovely and so balanced the whole way through the sip as well. It's really nice.
Yeah, we were big about, for us too, it's that the wine should take you forward to back in your palate, right? And not die. And this is definitely a wine that like totally does that. And that's why it is so food friendly, right? It's not competing with the food. It's actually like it's doing its own thing while letting you also enjoy. So that's where the acidity comes in too, that you're just getting this beautiful pairing with both that allows you to drink this glass alone or with stuff, right? Versus letting it, where some of those wines, you get it to
Absolutely.
just die off in the back. This stays the whole way.
Yeah.
No,
100%.
for sure. And to that note, the finish on this wine is ridiculous. You get a lot more of those spices, kind of like those baking spices on the finish, but like a ton of red fruit still. Like that's crazy. The fact that you get the fruit the entire way, because a lot of times on the finish the fruit will die off. This is not the case here. The pleasure of the sip is it goes throughout the entire sip, like you mentioned, from front to back, and the finish.
Totally.
Seems to be hanging around for forever. I still get strawberry,
In a good way.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%. And I haven't taken a sip in a while. So like,
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
again,
the strawberry is huge. That's one that just keeps like kind of shining through for me. And it's like, this is strawberry central, and it's working really well.
yeah, wonderful red fruit, strawberry, cranberry, maybe even a little red cherry in there. I think just wonderful, wonderful fruit profile, and with everything else to back it up as well.
It's so nice to hear people talk about our wines that aren't us, because
Yeah.
we're the ones always trying to we're just always we're doing tastings, explaining to people like, oh, this is the wine. But it's awesome that to hear you guys enjoy it, which is good. That's what that's what we want.
That's why we make wine. Honestly, like John and I always talk about, one of the best things about making wine is seeing everyone's experience with it. So one of the coolest things we get is like people send us pictures of like, I just had this at my birthday, or we just had this with friends with this dish and it was great. We love that.
so
And then we love hearing, because everyone's palate is different. That's what's beautiful about the wine world, right?
It is.
And so I love hearing people talk about it, because I can't describe it the way each of you describe it, because you all taste it differently.
Sure. 100%.
That's beautiful. I love that. Well, we appreciate you all making this. So yeah, no, thank you for giving us something
Yeah, please don't
to talk
stop.
about so much. Yeah.
That's good.
So that's amazing. Guys, anything else that you want to call out?
No, I mean, I think again, just incredibly well balanced all the way through. The finish, again, I talk about finish a lot on the show because to me it matters a lot, and the finish on this wine is just incredible.
Absolutely. John and Meg, anything that we missed that you think we should notice or take note of here?
I mean, I think you guys did a great job, honestly. Yeah. I'm pretty impressed. I'm going to steal some of your descriptors, honestly.
Yeah.
Hey, for sure. Yeah. Absolutely.
But, this wine
Love
has
that.
taken a while to come around. I think this wine right now is kind of in its wheelhouse.
It's a beautiful spot.
2-3 years into its life, it is, kind of like where it needs to be. And I think with the acidity and the structure of this wine, I'll be excited to see where this wine is in like 10 years down the road.
100%.
For sure.
That's why you need that case. Drink now, drink
That's
later.
exactly. Buy the case.
Right, it's the
Buy
only
the
way.
case. What are we doing now?
That's the way to do it.
Yeah, a couple now, a couple then, a couple later. 100%.
I love that. All right. Well, I think that's so much fun, so much to pick apart in here, so much to experience. I think if it's all right, guys, let's go ahead. Let's go into the review here.
Yeah, we're gonna awkwardly review your wine in front of you. Is that cool?
Is that okay if we do that?
Bring it on. Bring it on.
Okay.
Yeah, there we go.
All right, so as a reminder here on the Stop Wasting Your Wine podcast, we don't believe in numbers when it comes to talking about wine. It's really just about the experience and the vibe that the wine has for you. So our must-shares are those wines that are exceptionally good. These are great bottles of wine that have something a little extra that deserve to be shared. Solid pours are just really good wines. It's a great place to be. Casual sippers are enjoyable, but not necessarily memorable. And then those wines that are overvalued, low quality, undrinkable, these are the wastes of wine. And of course, each of us has 3 spots in our coveted wine fridge for our top 3 favorite wines of the year. A reminder, if our wine fridge is full, we find a new one. We got to take one of those bad boys out to replace it. Okay?
Hey, who has a full wine fridge so far, Joel?
I believe I'm the only one that has a full wine fridge at this
Oh,
point.
wow, look at you.
Yeah, you're the only one with the heat on you tonight, buddy.
I've been really enjoying wine lately.
You are. You're
That's
doing
a
a
good
great
thing.
job
Yeah.
liking
Good for us.
your wine.
Thank you. Isn't that why we do this show, right? Like
I know, it's been a great year.
It has been. It really has. All right. So, as I'm the host, I will reserve the honors of going last and let you guys go first.
As is the case.
Yes, absolutely. Let's see. I think I'll go to. I'm just going to go in alphabetical order here. Let's see, who would that bring up? I believe that would bring up Aaron. Aaron, go ahead, buddy.
No, I'm going to shock the heck out of everyone, including myself. Pinot Noir is not my favorite wine, and Gamay is not my favorite wine. I like big, bold, tannic. Like I'm a big like Cab Franc guy. I am loving the heck out of this. I think I just maybe need all of my wines to be crushed by people's feet, or maybe they just need all the stems. I just whatever the magic is, maybe this all need to be
extra love.
From Oregon. Just the extra
That's right,
love,
yeah.
the sunshine, the mountain behind you, whatever it is. The additional just like tannic and earthiness has just really brought both of these grapes that I've enjoyed a lot of them, but just have never been my favorites, but just brought them together in a way that's just one, just really kicking ass tonight, and 2 at like a $35 price point. It's just really incredible because I have a spot in my wine fridge and Joel doesn't, so this is going in my wine fridge.
All right.
So
Love it.
Thank you all very much.
Love
This
it.
is delightful.
Yay.
Very cool. Awesome. Is that your second or third spot now full?
That is my third spot. I put the Amarone in there, and I put the Savi B from Ghost Block. So this is my third
Nice.
spot. So moving forward, I have a lot of pressure, but tonight, no pressure. This is
You got
delicious.
a good
It's in
lineup,
my
it
wine
sounds like,
fridge.
so far.
Yeah.
I have a very diverse wine fridge right now. I'm in a great place.
Love that. Love that. All right, Colin, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I mean, it's an incredible bottle of wine. First of all, let's get that right, because it's just the structurally incredibly well balanced. The fruit, the flavor profile is just so enjoyable. Like I said before, like I kind of stopped drinking Gamay because it just kind of all was the same, especially the Gamay I was able to get. But this is incredible. I wish all of the Gamay that I was drinking was like this, because this is just it's incredible wine. I would put this up against most Pinot Noirs, nonetheless, other Gamays.
Right.
I mean, this is just like, if you want a lighter style red wine, this has everything you could possibly imagine. Great fruit, great spice, awesome structure. So I can't put this anywhere else but the wine fridge. I mean, this is the epitome of a wine fridge wine, especially at $35. The value here, if you told me this was $50, it would still probably be a wine fridge wine, because it is just that damn good, honestly. Like, and for $35, there's no reason you shouldn't be
Don't
drinking
say
it.
that, Colin. This is going to be $50 next year.
You just notched me up another 25 for that.
Yeah. Sorry. No, 35.
35 is perfect.
But yeah, no, it's incredible wine. I would highly suggest anybody out there to seek this out, because if you like lighter style reds, I honestly don't know for $35 if you get much better than this. I don't. Find me a better one. Send me a better one, and I'll be the judge of that. But for right now, this is one of the best Gamays I've ever had, period. So cheers to you, John and Meg, because this is incredible wine.
Colin's about to fight people. Well done.
Yeah.
Colin's not a very aggressive person. This is huge.
That is huge.
Can I add that descriptor to our wines, that it causes people to fight people?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Colin will fight you over it. Then put Colin's address at the back.
Yeah, enjoy this wine, or else Colin will fight you. Put it on there.
That's amazing. I was so hoping that you were going to put it in your wine fridge, Colin, because have we ever had a 3 wine fridge episode? Has that happened in the history of the show?
I think we've had one before. There's only one.
I don't remember what it was.
We're going to make this
it was
number
a long
2.
I don't remember what it was.
Yeah.
Because clearly,
Hey.
yeah. I just want to call out to John and Meg. We don't, we'll be very, very honest with our reviews. And, if we're not a fan of something, we won't do a review, and we'll say, oh, thank you so much, for coming. We really appreciate it. Thanks for sharing your wine with us, sort of a thing. And we don't exaggerate either, and especially Colin.
No, I am not.
So
Colin's just brutally honest.
Honestly, it is both my superpower and my downfall.
I say that just to say that this truly is just such a very cool and unique experience, and just love what you're doing in this. Such a cool way to drink Gamay, and just I think God, we got to drink more at Willamette wines too. I mean, we've had a few, we've always enjoyed it,
100%.
but I think there's a whole world we need to get into, and this is just a shining example, and so grateful for you guys sharing this with us.
Of course, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
So Joel, what are you taking out? If you already had 3 in there, you got to take something out.
Yes. What's up, buddy?
I'm gonna take out. And by the way, we need to have the shelf of previous wine fridge honorees. This is not a demotion. This is, we got to move. We got to make space, So I am going to take out, I'm going to take out the Ghost Block, not the
Cab. The Sauvignon Blanc is
not
the one
the
you're
Sauv
taking
Blanc. I'm leaving the Sauv Blanc.
Wow.
Yeah.
Man,
So
that's pretty wild.
removing.
Good for you.
Yes.
He's got to leave a white in there. He's got to leave a white in there.
Well, we really are as well. Again, we said, just so appreciative of not only just the wine, but just your time and sharing everything about your story and just everything. Thank you so much. It's been such a lovely experience here.
Of course.
Thank you guys.
And I was gonna say, Colin, did you have something there? Or?
No, I was just gonna say I haven't been this excited about a bottle of wine in a really long time. It's just
that's great. That means a lot.
It's just so good. Like, honestly, and for the price, the value here is just unmatched. It's unmatched value.
I
think
you guys broke
check
Colin.
it out.
I think
you might have. You might
This
have.
is great. I did not anticipate breaking
You're welcome
Colin.
out to the Vineyard anytime.
Come visit.
When I get
You guys
excited-
so much.
When I get excited
we will
about
take you up
something,
on
I
it.
really get into it, and I love sharing things that I'm passionate about. And this wine is incredible, and I can't explain to you how much I'm enjoying it. So thank you.
Great.
You can.
That's awesome.
It's an honor.
Love it.
Love this.
We love being a part of your
Amazing.
wine fridges.
Oh, we love you being a part of it. That's
Yeah, 100%.
absolutely. Speaking of being a part of it as well, if in the Stop Wasting Your Wine community, if folks want to learn more about Wildsound and just your story, if folks want to get their hands on a bottle or a case, where should people go?
Case.
Not only, to get your wine, but also, just anything else you kind of want to plug, any kind of social media aspect, anything like that.
Yeah, totally. We're just at Wildsound Wine on Instagram and wildsoundwine.com on the internet.
For all your bottle needs.
Yeah. We can ship to most
Amazing.
states.
And-
There's some states we can't ship to, but most of them we got you covered.
That was going to be my question. And those states get real wonky with their distribution rules, don't they? So go,
That's right. Shocking.
That's right.
go check it
Going
out
back
and
to challenges,
see if
that's
you can
like
get
one
your
of
hands
the
on it.
ultimate challenges of trying to sell wine is compliance.
Just selling wine.
Yeah.
Just selling wine. It's insane.
I bet.
It's a miracle.
I bet.
Well, you guys nailed the making part, so
Well, thank
Very
you.
Thank you.
We're working on the
Label's
selling
good.
part.
I love it. Amazing. Awesome. All right. And then let's see, Colin.
Sure.
If folks want to hang out with Stop Wasting Your Wine, talk to us, what should they do?
Yeah. Check us out on the gram, Instagram, Stop Wasting Your Wine. Check us out on YouTube, Stop Wasting Your Wine. If you really just Google us, we're everywhere. And Stop Wasting Your Wine. We're the only ones out there that stop wasting your wine. So
we're the only people not wasting our wine.
Yeah.
That's right.
Well,
we occasionally waste some wine, but
yeah, sometimes.
it depends.
It comes with the territory.
Not our fault. That's right.
We're not the ones wasting it.
We're not the one.
It's true. All right. Well, listen, I think we did it. Again, John and Meg, thank you.
Yes,
look forward to
Thanks for coming.
having you all back. Always welcome back on the show.
Yeah.
We had a wonderful time.
We'll keep bringing fun stuff. We promise.
Amazing.
We'll keep drinking the stuff you sent.
I'm here for
Absolutely.
it. Yeah, 100%.
Amazing. And hey, thank you, listener. Thanks for hanging out with us. Hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you next week for another great episode. And in the meantime, just remember, stop wasting your wine.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Hell yeah.